Hey everyone, this is Sue Moulton, Senior Director in Boscawen, New Hampshire, and we're here talking about fundraising today. So there are lots of ways that you can do fundraising. You can do it live in person by doing a cooking demonstration for a group of people. You can do it virtually by Facebook or by table. And you can also do it as a catalog style fundraiser. So I'm going to talk about a couple of fundraisers that I've had over the last 16 years that I've been doing Pampered Chef, and the ones that were most successful prior to COVID and what made them successful. So the band usually goes to DC, to Disney or to New York to play. And the DC 8th grade trip is usually I usually work with the 7th graders because they're raising money because the trip is usually right in the fall, like October, when they first get to school. So you need to be finding out who the chair people are or who the guidance counselors are or whatever of the 7th grade class at your local middle school. You also want to reach out to the band director or chorus director, or sometimes they have a local group that supports the fine arts. There are also tons of other fundraisers. So I'm just going to list off a few that I've had before. I had a kindergarten class that needed to raise money for the bus and the nurse to go on a field trip. I have had the junior class need money for a prom. I've had senior class for senior class trips. I've done church kitchens. I've done food banks. I have done gymnastics and sports events, all different types of sports events, things like that. You have travel teams for sports. You have travel dance teams and gymnastics teams, and those cost a lot of money. So usually those type of events. Now, whether you are doing a fundraiser for a kindergarten class or a middle school or a high school, you got to know your audience. So when I was doing high school, I would incentivize the student. If they collected $600 in orders, I would offer them a iTunes gift card, and you can buy them in bulk at Sam's Club. They're a little bit discounted. So you could buy a $10 and you don't want to spend a lot of money. You can buy a $10 a package of 4 or 5 $10 gift cards at Sam's Club, and you save about, I don't know, $1 on each one. So maybe it costs you $9 for a $10 gift card. So they could download a music. Now, when I was dealing with elementary school, I would do either Friendlies or I would do McDonald's where that they could get an ice cream there with the parents. So you want to incentivize each individual student, because what happens is they all know who the top seller has been for the wrapping paper or the Yankee candles, and the kids get discouraged, like, well, I'm not going to be the top seller, so why bother? So you need to incentivize the students individually to want to get some type of incentive. Also, it helps for the parents as well if each student has an individual account. So you need to know, like when it was kindergarten, it was everybody was going on this field trip. So we were raising money for the bus and the nurse. But when we were talking about DC 8th grade trip, or when we were talking about band and chorus, each student that wanted to go on this trip needed to pay the specific amount. So I created different fundraisers for them. Back when I was not doing direct ship, you would do a one big fundraiser. Now, when you do it as one big fundraiser, they do get over the $600 mark. So let me break off from talking about how to make it set up to just telling you what the organizations earn. So on shows that are $600 or less, so $5.99 and under, they earn 10% of the sales. If it's at 600 and above, they earn 15% of the sales. Now you have a ability to donate part or all of your commission. Now, when you say that, you need to be careful, because if you're providing catalogs for 200 students, that's going to be an expense to you. And you want to make sure that you're covering your costs. You don't want to go into debt to do a fundraiser. The other thing that you need to know is that fundraisers do not pay the same amount as a live cooking show or a virtual show. You get paid less on fundraisers. So having said that, you get paid 15% on fundraisers. And if you've hit your 15,000 career sales, you're going to get paid 17% on fundraisers, I believe is how that is. So yep. What you want to know is that if you're going to do the fundraiser as one big organization so that the organization earns more money, the 15%, you want to make sure that you can itemize each student so that you can keep an Excel spreadsheet for each student as to who ordered what. So you can do that in Google Sheets. You can do that on a piece of paper. You can do that in an Excel spreadsheet. And basically, when you get an order on the fundraiser, you will see an email that comes to your inbox and it'll say, you have an order on XYZ fundraiser. When you open the order up, the email is a hyperlink. So what you want to do is you want to create a text replacement for your reply. And if you don't know how to do that, check with your director. We have text replacement in our team page under Tech Tips by Sue. And what text replacement means is that you can type in 2 or 3 characters on your keyboard and it'll populate your whole paragraph. That will be like, thank you so much for placing your order on the DC 8th grade trip. We are so pleased that you're supporting this great opportunity for student education. If you could please let me know which student you would like to receive credit for your order. I'll make sure that they get credit for it. So you're going to have to keep a list because sometimes people don't get back to you right away. So you're going to have to keep a list of everybody that's ordered and then who that student is that's supposed to get credit. And the next thing you need to keep an order of or a list of is not the total of the order, because if they have to pay tax and shipping, that is not part of what the check gets sent. So it is the amount before tax and shipping. So you need to write that down. And then I always keep a column that shows the total amount paid, you know, including tax and shipping. And then if you decide you are going to give a donation, if you're a new consultant watching this, you do, just so you know, you don't have to give a donation over and above, especially this year, Pampered Chef is offering a double on fundraisers. So they're going to get 20 or 30%, which is great. I think that that will really get our fundraising going. But prior to this and after this promotion, if you decide that you do want to donate, I always recommend that you start it on a sliding scale. 3, 5, and 7%. So I would say I donate a portion of my commission to support your organization. And then when they commit to it, I tell them I give you 3% on any, if the organizational sales is below $600, I'll give you 5% when it's over, you know, $1,500, and I'll give you 7% when it's over $2,000. You know, and I'll give you 10% if it's over, you know, 3,000 or something like that. Now you can decide. I often now at my level often just say I'll give them up to 10%. Those are the terms that I use. If it's a small organization, I do recommend that you do it under one big organizational umbrella and just separate the students individually. That way the organization does get the larger check. Because you're sure to be over the $600, whereas some kid might just sell, you know, $25 and he's only going to get 10%. That'll be a little bit more difficult to track. If you do them separately, Pampered Chef sends a separate check and the check goes to the chairperson. So here's the instance on why you might want to separate organizations or students. The chairperson of the fundraiser is allowed to get the 60% off host special when the show hits $200 in sales. So that being the case, we might be able to motivate our hosts, the parents, to collect at least $200 per student in order to earn a 60% off bonus item. There are no other rewards for the chairperson, quote unquote, host on this. They do not get free products. They do not get the future party pick. They do not get the 3 booking thing, but they do, however, the fundraiser gets $3 per booking that gets added to their check. So every booking counts. And one of the ways that I have used in order to try to get bookings from the organization and from the people is to say to them, if you book a party of your own and it's a host rewards or a shared rewards party, I would be happy to donate a percentage of my commission on your show back to that organization as well. And so then you can just donate 3% or 5% of their party back to the organization. That gives them a little bit more incentive to help the organization and to book a show where they're going to get free and half price and discounted products. Now, having said all that, I want to tell you a couple of different tips that make a super successful fundraiser. Obviously, your chairperson needs to be engaged. So let's talk about, if we're talking about the 7th grade class, you might want to get 2 of the 7th grade teachers to kind of get some friendly competition between the 2 classrooms going, where, you know, who has, you know, let's keep track of our sales day to day kind of thing. You might offer a pizza party for the classroom that has the most sales. You know, and order in, you know, 2 pizzas for a classroom or something like that. You also want to, and that will all be coming out of your commission. So again, keep in mind what you're offering is something that's coming directly out of your commission. I know new consultants don't always understand that. When you go to the organization, so if you're going to students, when I went to go talk to the high schoolers, I would have a big sheet of paper and it would have my name on it and my cell phone number on it, and I would post it on the wall behind me. I would also bring in a chocolate lava cake and I would ask if they have a microwave, and I would mix the cake mix up already in the stoneware or the rock crock. And I would bring the solid chocolate frosting with me. And I would tell the students, I know a lot of your parents have Pampered Chef in their kitchen. How many of you guys know about a pizza stone or whatever? And you'd be surprised. Even a lot of the high schoolers go, oh yeah, my mom's got one of those. So I give each of my students a full size catalog if I'm going in on purpose. The reason I have them text me, they text me their name, their parents' name, and then the high school, you know, MVMS or something like that. Because if I have more than one fundraiser going at the same time, it would not be easy for me to do that. So then I immediately, when I get home from meeting the students, I text every one of them back with a text replacement, obviously. And it says, hi, this is Sue Moulton, your Pampered Chef consultant. Here is the interactive catalog link. You can share this with your parents, your aunts, uncles, or anybody who wants it. Here is the order link for your party as well. Please forward this to your parents and ask them to just reply to my number. So the goal is we're trying to get in touch with the parent, right? So students don't always do this, but you can text them. Once they've texted you once, you're going to keep a list of their names and their numbers so that later, when you're halfway through the fundraiser, you're going to send a second image and you're going to say to them, hey, it's Sue with the Pampered Chef. Do me a favor. Can you post this on your social media platform with the link below? And again, it's a copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. We want to make it so easy for these students, and you want to do it in the evenings when they're at home. I used to try to do it during the day, but, you know, if students are busy or they're in a class or they're, you know, playing sports, they're not going to get around to it. And then you'll be buried in their texts. So do it in the evening around, you know, 8 at night or something like that, where they can just copy and paste and text it. So again, we want to make it as easy for them as possible. Now, when trying to land a fundraiser, it's one of the biggest things that has helped me get fundraisers in the past is to say, there's no more bagging, tagging, and sorting for you, the chairperson or the organization. One of the things that they hate is all the work that's involved. In the past, I used to go and actually get, you know, 36 boxes of Pampered Chef lined up in the hallways and pick and pack everything. It took hours and days to do that on a big fundraiser. Now we don't have to worry about that because it's all drop shipped. So that is a big selling point. You don't have to touch the products. The products will ship as soon as the customer places the order directly to their house or wherever they want it sent to at no additional charge. And all the entire catalog is shoppable, whereas a lot of organizations have a special catalog that has inflated prices or limited products. Pampered Chef does not do that. They can shop the entire catalog. So talking to the chairperson to determine whether individual shows should be set up for those parents that want that is something that you can ask. So maybe an email goes out to everybody in the organization that says, if you would like to receive one of these 60% off items, you would need to collect a minimum of $200 per student. We need to know in advance of setting this fundraiser up if you would like your own individual link so you can take advantage of this 60% off. And just letting them know, because if they only collect $200, they're going to get a 10% versus 15%. And that's a choice that you get to make. You don't have to offer that. You can just let the chairperson on the organization take the 60% off, and off and running they go. So let me tell you about a couple other things. I told you about the percentages, the $3, the 15, 17%. Directors, if you're a director or above and you have 15,000 in career sales, you earn I believe you still earn your 3% override. So you go from the 17% to the 20% on fundraisers. You can have paper order forms, but I recommend that you create a QR code, which Canva creates a QR code for you for your business website, and you can have a specific QR code for the fundraiser link. And you can just print those on labels with your contact information. I did up some return address labels that have a QR code, and that way they can just hover their camera over it, and it will pull up the order link. Another thing that you want to encourage is, I used to do stickers, big yellow stickers, and I have a couple. If you're giving catalogs out, you can either give a mini catalog, which is less expensive. You can order, a package of 25 mini catalogs for like $4.50 versus 25 big catalogs are like $25 or $15. I don't remember the cost of them. I just ordered them at 100 at a time, so I forget. But nowadays, people are used to the virtual catalog, so it might be easier for you to send home the mini catalog with a sticker on the back. So the sticker on the back would say something like, please share this on social media to 25 of your family, friends, neighbors, relatives, and coworkers so that we can spread the word. It's like 6 degrees of separation. And I have labels for my team to show you what I've done in the past. I have an example of it. And actually, I'll pull it up here. And I'll show you a catalog as well. Let me do a screen share. Okay. All right. Can you guys see this catalog here? I'm going to make it bigger for you guys so you guys can see. Let me just open it up a little bit more. Okay. So this is what I had originally, nod your head, Jean, if you can see the catalog. Okay, good. So this is what I originally had on my catalogs. This was years ago. It says income example. If each student collects 5 orders of $60 or more. Now, $60 was where they would get the free gift. Now it's $80. So you can tell how long ago this catalog was. Equals $300 times 140 students is $42,000 in sales times the 25%, because I offered to give my donation. That's $10,500 profit plus the student earns an iTunes gift card, because I had it that they had to have $300 in orders for an iTunes gift card even back then. So there you go. And then I said more ways to earn. If you book a cooking show from this fundraiser, I will donate 3 to 5% of that entire show towards the organization, so the savings continue. And then this was the link that we originally had, which was forward this web link to 15 to 20 of your friends via email, Facebook, text, or pass the catalog around. It's that simple. Anywhere, anyone, anywhere in the United States can place an order securely on my website. Items drop ship to the organization, pay by check, cash, credit. Now you do not want to collect cash or check. Do not allow that. Two reasons. They'll say they pay cash and then the cash disappears and there's no proof of it. And checks, there's too many scams out there now regarding checks where people deposit the money in your account, then they can track your account and all that kind of stuff. So you don't do that. Or they put stop payments on the check. So debit or credit. And then I had said, make checks available to me. I had my website, and then I had ordering instructions where I had them put on the second line of shipping the student's name. You don't need to do that anymore because we're on direct ship, and you can just, you get an email every time somebody places an order. So you can just email them and ask them who it is. So that's an example of what I put on it. Now, what I would be putting on it would be my contact information with a QR code and some instructions on how they go ahead and order. But I would definitely have a big honking sticker that says, please forward this, and pass it around. If people want a full-size catalog, I recommend, they're a little bit harder to handle, but I have done fundraisers in brown craft envelopes that you get from Sam's Club or online. But although Ziploc baggies are harder to handle, they all slip around and stuff like that in your bag, they are better for younger children if you are putting stuff in their bag, because the parent will see it. And if there's a catalog sitting on the countertop and it's in a clear Ziploc baggie, people who know Pampered Chef will go, oh my God, Pampered Chef, can I look at the catalog? Whereas if it's in a brown craft envelope, it's out of sight, out of mind. Nobody's going to look at it and they're going to forget about it, or it won't even get out of the student's bag in the back of their backpack. So you have to keep in mind your audience of who you're working with. I always recommend some type of live connection if you're near the organization, or doing some type of Zoom or even a Facebook Live into the event so that they can get to know you, and you can be like, excited about their organization, and you can be a real person and not some abstract thing. And saying to them like, look, I want to help you get dinner on the table in 30 minutes or less. So tell me what kinds of things, you're looking for foods. Are you looking for, sandwiches that you can grab on the way to a game? Are you looking for crock pot meals that you can set and fix and forget until you get home? You want to engage with your crowd on that information. Let me see what else I want to tell you about it. Where do you find fundraisers? So we're going into a month where we're going to have a special on fundraisers. So you can do a couple of things. You can set a mini catalog with contact information on it, and a big thing about double on fundraisers in May. And at your local like 7-Eleven or whatever, there's cork boards. You can put some information there. You can ask your grocery store. Market Basket here often lets you hang stuff there as well. If you're driving by this summer and you see somebody out doing a car wash, and they got their big signs and stuff like that, you drive through there and you find out who the organization is. Often when you see things that where people are trying to raise money, they're open to raising money through different organizations, not just one. Another way is your local newspaper. You'll find tons of charitable organizations raising money there, and on Facebook, where people see, they are like, oh, it's my birthday, donate to XYZ, autism or something like that, what you want to do is you want to reach out to that person on a one-on-one. First, wish them a happy birthday, and then say, hey, I noticed that autism is your organization that's dear and near to your heart. Would you be interested in doing a special fundraiser this month for them? And I would be happy to donate a part of my commission as well. All I'm looking for is for you to introduce me with the right connection there. Now, we've all posted, and you're going to start to see a ton of this on your Facebook page. So I recommend that you do it before May, but you put in a post about, you know, I'd like to donate my commission to an organization, nominate your organization. And then everybody that nominates an organization, you reach out to them one-on-one and say, that's great. I would love your organization to be the one I pick. Who's the person that I need to contact? Are you the chairperson? That kind of thing. So that's how you're trying to find the different organizations. The other thing, which I'll be doing this year, is I'll be posting on my Facebook wall, who does Walk for Life? So that's the American Cancer Society. And a lot of people have to raise money for the entrance fees for those. So you want to be able to make a difference. That way you can go ahead and, you know, put a post on your wall, Walk for Life post, and ask who walks and talk to those people. Now, how do you set up a fundraiser? And what are the things that you need to know? Setting up a fundraiser on Pampered Chef is pretty easy. There is a button that says fundraiser. It does ask if you are going to be posting on their specific website, because they do have rules about that. And I know Jean has an organization that she thinks might need to do it that way. Most of the time, they allow us to create a group or an event and make us a chairperson of that event, an admin of the event, and we can post in there. On a Facebook party, you can do it either from your business page or from their business page. If you are going to be posting on a website of theirs, there are some specific rules that you'll have to read up about on Pampered Chef, and it does ask you what that website is and how long you're going to be posting on it. I've never done it that way before, because most people will allow me to create either a Facebook page of my own, or I give them things to post each day, one or two things each day. I give it to my chairperson each day for a couple of days, and they just do literally like our Canva collages that we have, Jean, that shows a video and then some products, and then you just create the words for it. And, you know, 2 videos a day are showing a ton of products while they're cooking recipes and stuff like that. So there's lots of ways to get the information to the organization. Again, you need to coach a host of a chairperson, just like you would a regular party, where they need to have people engaging on the post. They need to engage themselves. They need to be active. They need to have a wish list where they're talking about the things that they want. The chairperson's order does count towards the cost of the fundraiser. You know, it goes towards the sales of the fundraiser, because she's not getting a discount on that, except for the 60% off monthly special. The other thing is, there is going to ask you the name of your organization, but then it's going to ask you how you want your check written out to. And that's an important thing, because they can't deposit the check if you don't have it written out correctly. And the check gets mailed to the address on the show. So whoever the chairperson is, they're going to get one check. And then you, out of your own checking account, your business checking account, if you're donating some of your commission, once you see the show submitted, and you can wait till you get paid, cut a check to the organization for your portion. So it is 2 separate checks. Pampered Chef cuts theirs, you cut yours if you're donating. And I'm not saying you have to, but in the past, I have done that. So the name of the organization might not be the name that the check gets written out to. Okay, so for an example, Carrie's Walk for Life might be, you know, one of them was Save the Tatas, right? And so for breast cancer. So Save the Tatas is the name of their group, but the check needed to be written out to the American Cancer Society. And then in the notes or something, you know, there was some way it needed to be written out so that they got credit. But because it got mailed to them, they would take the check that said American Cancer Society and hand it to them on behalf of their organization, but it needed to be written that way. So you need to ask those specific questions about that. Let's see. Looking online, looking on Facebook groups, looking at what's going on your WMUR TV, channel on Facebook talks to you a little bit about different things that are happening in your area. So those are great ways of doing it. Keep in mind that it sometimes takes time to develop the fundraiser. So I'm going to give you one example. If you do live cooking shows or even virtual shows and you're not talking about fundraisers at your shows, I'm guilty of that currently, then you won't get them because people aren't aware that we do them. And so one time I heard a great training on it and they said you should talk about it at every show. And so when I was doing my full service checkout, I would say, oh my gosh, Jean, you'd be so great on my team. Would you be interested in joining my team? I would love to have you. I think you'd be great at this. And she would say no. And I'd say, well, how about we gather your friends for, wine, cheese, and chocolate? And she would say no. And then I would say, do you know any organizations that are looking for fundraising? Pampered Chef offers a really great fundraiser and they can shop the full catalog, blah, blah, blah. And one of my ladies said, oh, I'm actually the PTO of the middle school. And I was like, oh my gosh, we need to do it. And she's like, we're already set up for our spring and fall fundraiser. So it took me a year to get into the school to do the fundraiser, but if you're not asking, you're not going to get it. And I always share this, like the first year I did the DC 8th grade trip, it was like a $4,000 fundraiser. Now, I didn't know how much it was going to be. I put in 250 catalogs, I invested a lot of money in the catalogs and stuff. So I didn't know it was the old school P3 and I had to like enter in the orders one at a time. And I had no idea, as the night went on, how I was getting for orders, because one little packet, I kept them in the Ziploc baggie, so they would put their checks and their order forms in there. And by the way, if you are doing order forms and you're working with an organization, make them photocopy it. I asked the school to photocopy 250 double-sided order forms for me, because why do I want to go to Staples to do it when they have a copier right there at the school? Same thing for organizations and businesses. You can send them the PDF file from marketing imagery if you need that. So it started with a $4,000 fundraiser because it gained momentum. The next year, people knew it was coming. And so parents knew, so they placed their orders for Christmas in October, and it was a $6,000 fundraiser. The third year, it was a $12,000 fundraiser. And the fourth year, I got booted out because some parent who also did a direct selling company got mad that Pampered Chef was monopolizing and they didn't think it was fair. And I wasn't able to get back in there. So it was funny because I actually had phone calls from parents. When are you doing the fundraiser? I haven't seen it come through. So they were looking for it. So I worked one-on-one with those parents, but it was very frustrating not to be able to get the parents' information directly because, as I said before, one kid raised the whole amount that he needed to go. And that was, something that you can sell Pampered Chef pretty easily. It's not like Yankee Candles where people were paying, $5 more or $6 more for a candle that they could go buy at the store. The same thing. Our prices are not inflated. We don't inflate the prices of our products to fund the event. So people need to understand that. Whether they order it on your website or your fundraiser, they're going to pay the same price for that. The other thing is, I also say, I don't know if any of you have worked with other fundraisers before, but one of the things that is very difficult for fundraisers of some other companies is you order something and there's nobody for you to call. And that was one of the things. They had some broken candles. They had some things that needed to be returned. And there was nobody, there was no pinpoint person to help them with all of that. And it was a real hassle, they said, and they didn't get a lot of good feedback from that. So they were really happy when I came in. So Relay for Life, Down syndrome, Autism Speaks, churches, school DC 8th grade trip, band and chorus, youth groups, sports teams, the Scouts, Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts cannot raise money from the organization unless you go to their headquarters. Like I have done a Boy Scouts of America fundraiser and a Girl Scouts of America fundraiser, but you have to go to their organization. If it's the mini group, you have to talk to the parents because they can raise funds of Friends of Troop 157. So that is a whole different way. Pampered Chef will not cut a check to an individual person. So you need to hear this. It has to be an organization. It doesn't have to be a 50c3 or any of that. It just has to be an organization. So here is an example. I had a group of elderly ladies that lived in this cute little community, and every year they would raise money for their local school teachers because teachers end up having to pay for a lot of their own supplies. And then at Christmas time, they would give out Christmas gifts to the kids in their condo complex or housing complex that didn't have Christmas. And so this group would constantly be doing fundraisers. So we had to figure out how to do a fundraiser that would go into their little thing. So they had to go to the bank and actually open up an account through the bank for that type of fundraising. So the banks know how to do that. I do not know how to do that. Also, churches do as well. So individual students are the chairperson for the fundraiser. So the check is still written out to Merrimack Valley Middle School or whatever the school is, but the parent's name or that student's name is the chairperson on that thing. So the organization is still getting the check. So basically you can't raise money because you need a gas bill. But when you find people that have cancer or they need to pay for bills and things like that, they often have an account through a bank that is set up for that specific thing. So you just need to talk to them about it and talk to a banker about it. So let me see if there's anything else on my list here. I give one catalog per family and then the interactive catalog link, depending upon whether it's kids or whatever. I do the labels on the front. I used to give 3 to 5 outside order forms per organization, per Ziploc baggie. I get my labels at onlinelabels.com and I do use return address labels and I use shipping labels. Those are the two that I do all my stuff for. You could do mini catalogs, which are a lot less expensive, as I said before. A lot of fundraisers use these long letters about raising money and all that. I've been a parent. I never read those, so I don't do those long letters. People will not read them unless you're dealing with an adult group. Honestly, they're not going to read them. And that's why I did all the information bullet pointed on a label on the catalog. Because when you have a whole packet, parents are so sick of reading all of that, especially at the beginning of the school year that they have to fill out all this stuff. The less stuff they have to read. Collect 25 orders, collect $600 in sales, share this with X number of people, whatever the bullet points are that are important to you. Make sure that that's on a sticker and make it really easy for them to do it. You can now, we have the ability for you to add their contact information if you have their emails and stuff like that into an email database, or you can provide a short letter for your chairperson to send out to their database. And with the link to your Facebook group, the link to ordering, and the link for the interactive catalog and how much the organization is going to get if they place their order between this date and this date. So I would definitely recommend doing that. There are policy and procedures on the Pampered Chef website about fundraising, and things do get updated and changed all the time. So you want to make sure that you have read that in the policy. Last thing I want to tell you is follow up, follow up, follow up. The purpose of fundraisers is to get us outside our family and friend circle and to get into a group of people that you have not been into before. And the only thing that these people have in common is they all have a cheerleader in their house. So they don't have the same family, friends, relatives, coworkers, etc. So you definitely want to do a follow-up like, hi, Sarah, this is Sue with the Pampered Chef. I'm the one that's helping cheerleader XYZ troop raise money. How are you? I just want to say thanks so much for placing your order and supporting the girls, the cheerleaders, and I thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And now give a tip about one of the products they purchased. I noticed that you got the 1-cup prep bowls. I wanted to let you know I have 2 really great recipes that you can do mini cakes in them that are super fancy and take like 6 minutes. So I'll be sure to send that to you. What's your cell phone number? I'll text it. So you know, or if you have their cell phone, depends what you're calling on. And then I just say, now I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't let you know that I give all the cheerleaders a bonus donation for every person who books a party. Would you like to get your friends together for a fun night of Mexican and margaritas and learn a few new recipes? And if they say yes, then you put the booking in. And if they say no, you ask them if you can follow up, if they have an organization they're interested in, if they'd like to do a shared rewards party, etc. So the fortune is in the follow-up. You'll hear that forever in our business, because honestly, that really is true. The fortune is in the follow-up. That's where you're going to get your bookings. That's where you're going to get your leads. And that's where you're going to get extra orders too. Don't discount the fact that somebody will say, oh crap, I forgot to order this, and they can order it again. Now, if they want to order it and they don't want to pay shipping a second time, you can ask if they can give you their credit card information, and you can put it on the host's / chairperson's order, because whoever that chairperson is, they have contact with these people. So if they live nearby, they can pay for it, and you can do a split order if that's the case. So sometimes you do that as well. So that is the end of, let me see what there's for questions. If you send a virtual catalog link, do you have to make it clear to them not to order from that link? Yes, you do, because otherwise it will not link to the party. But you can send them the shop now link with really clear instructions that say, when you are done watching, flipping through the catalog, it's imperative that you use this shop now link for the fundraiser to get credit. This is a specific link to them only. Any questions about how to order, please contact me at blah, 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 blah.